Olá pessoal, sejam bem-vindos a mais um episódio do nosso podcast Systemic, onde a gente vai falar sobre a educação bilíngue e a importância de todo o trabalho que a gente faz. Está aqui do meu lado, né, com esses dois convidados maravilhosos, e eu estou muito feliz em recebê-los. E aproveito para convidá-los para procurar as nossas redes sociais, né? Então tem rede social do Systemic Bilingual, né, no LinkedIn, no YouTube, no Instagram. Então, tem um blog também que a gente trabalha mostra todo o trabalho que a gente faz. Então, procure o Systemic, compartilhe com as pessoas que gostam de educação bilíngue. E hoje a gente tem aqui esses dois convidados mais que especiais, né? A gente tem Pedro e Amanda, que são alunos do Sesc, mas eu não vou falar sobre eles, é eles que vão falar. Então, now we're going to switch to English, okay? And they're going to tell us a little bit about their experience as a systemic student, right? Their age, and introduce yourselves, please.
My name is Pedro. I am 17 years old. I studied Sesc since 2015. I've been part of the systemic bilingual system since the beginning of my English experience. So it was all of it during the bilingual school, none of courses. I've never learned English outside of Sesc, so pretty much all the things I know is because of systemic.
Good. Thank you, Pedro. Welcome. And you, Amanda?
So, hi, I am Amanda. I am 16 years old. I've been studying English for a long time now. Basically, my whole life, because since I was a child, bilingual system has been with me, and it makes English. It was fun for me. It was easier than Portuguese because at the time we were learning hard things in Portuguese, and English was fun and I like it. And I was a child, so it helped me a lot to improve my English, studying English.
Great. Now, tell us a little bit about your journey in systemic. How was little Amanda in the beginning, and how is Amanda now? Do you see the difference from when you started and how your English is now?
Yes, I see. For example, when I was younger, my mom and my dad used to they used to buy DVDs.
Yes, DVDs.
Of a series called Friends.
Uh-huh.
And it was all in English with Portuguese subtitles, yes, yeah. But it was all in English. And I used to watch with them because it was Saturday or Sunday, so we were together. But I really wanted to understand what they were saying, and I was young. So when we started to have English classes, I was oh my gosh, I'm going to learn and I'm going to understand what they are saying. The first thing that when I was watching with them and I saw and I understood what they were saying was coffee. And then I started loving coffee because I understood the word and everything. And now, that my English has increased, I feel that my relationship with the language has been better, and I love English. I love learning English and teaching English also. It's something that I really like. I like to, sometimes when I'm tired of Portuguese, sometimes when I'm tired of life, I'm just I want to speak in English, and then I think in English, I speak in English, because that's the way we learned to think in English and talk in English. So sometimes when I'm just I want to relax, I want to do something that I like, so now I'm going to watch something in English because it's something that I like. So when I was younger, it was difficult to understand, but I like it, and now I like it and I understand, so it's very fun.
Good. How about you, Pedro?
I think my English journey started out with, I think it was with Anderson, a teacher. He started my journey in English. I get in love with it, and I started learning a lot with his classes and with internet. And it helped me a lot with memes and videos of subjects. Sometimes when I'm going to search something, I'd rather search in English than in Portuguese.
Yes.
It's better for me. the content's better. Sometimes it's better, but I think teachers made me fall in love with English, and also another contest during high school, for example, chemistry, and they made me fall in love. So I get used to English. Sometimes I rather say things in English than in Portuguese. I like to think in English. I like to do some things in English. So for me, it's better. I got more. Sometimes English can communicate better than Portuguese, I guess. So
That's interesting.
it's better. The way systemic taught me things, my dialogue, the words I know, it's all about studying and getting my day a day with the teachers. Sarah, Anderson, Jessica, they all help me a lot.
Great. Very good, Pedro. Now, I see that both of you are very fluent. I want you to try to remember a class that was really interesting, something that you enjoyed a lot, that you had a lot of fun. Can you remember that kind of class? Any lesson that was very important, something that you presented in your student expo, in the science fair? Would you like to share that?
I think in 2018, there was a science fair where we get a box. People have to put their hands inside the box to feel, and they have to describe their feelings, what they're touching, what they're listening. And my group were responsible for touching. So I made a giant box it's all black, so we won't see what is inside. And there was like small animals, small plastic animals. There was a lot of things like slimy, and they were, what am I touching it? It's cold, it was hot, and they had to describe in English. The parents didn't like it because they didn't know English, but the students were really engaged, so it was really fun to do it.
Nice. Were you guys, what was the theme that you guys were studying? Do you remember?
5 cents.
5 cents.
5 cents.
Yes, that's a class that everyone enjoys a lot.
I like it. It was with Anderson.
Teacher Anderson. Great.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Pedro. How about you, Amanda?
I remember a class where we were learning about like plants, and I love plants, and people of my class were like, we are going to learn about this plant and how it grows and how is the process of like everything. And the teacher, she had an idea. So we went outside and she was talking about the plants and about how their functions and everything, but like showing us, and we were like allowed to go outside and do things. Of course, we were not allowed to speak Portuguese, so it was funnier because like it was a challenge for us because we were kids.
Yes.
But it was very fun because we were doing like other things and to know and to understand the content. So she was speaking about and explaining about the plants, and we were like, look at this ant, and we didn't know how to say it. So teacher, how do I say this? I don't know. And she explained it. It was very fun. Everyone laughed and everyone was like enjoying it. So it was something that I felt like, wow, it's an English class, but we were like being part of it, and we are like, we really want to know how to speak, and it was very fun.
Good. And do you remember anything about the parts of the plant and their function?
I remember. I was very young, but I don't remember the names.
Okay.
But she also teach us about. She used to sing a song for us about like the roots and. I'm not going to remember.
You remember the parts of the plant?
But
no.
There was a class that she used to sing a song so we could memorize, and it was very fun because like I had memorized and then the other like students did not, and then we were looking at each other and do you remember? And it was very fun. But
so you have the roots?
Yes.
Where are the roots located in the plant?
They're like I don't know how to explain it now. I feel nervous.
Are they on the top?
No, they're not.
Where
they
are
are like under the soil.
under the soil, right? So the roots, what are the roots responsible for? Do you know?
For getting water from the
And
soil.
nutrients
Water
and everything.
nutrients,
Yes.
right? And right above the roots is the
I don't remember
starts
the
with the
song.
letter T. Trunk.
I am trying to remember the song, but I don't really
Very
remember.
Good. It's a trunk. The trunk, right? And what's the trunk responsible for?
That part I don't remember.
Sustentation.
Yeah, to
Sometimes.
maintain the plant,
Yeah,
right?
to get the nutrients
hold.
from the soil to the top.
Very good. Very
Wow.
good. See, he remembers. How old were you at that time?
Probably
12, I
eight.
guess. No, it
No.
was far beyond.
9 or 10.
9 or 10. It was
Because
right in the
12 I
beginning.
was like, yes, it was in the beginning.
Okay. Because at 12 you probably were already fluent, right?
Probably. Yes, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you could give a new student, a student that has just arrived at Sesc, right, and he's going to start with systemic, what kind of advice could you give to that student?
I think talk to the teacher as much as you can.
Talk to the
Talking and listen to it, it makes you understand better than trying to read something in a book and write. Read and write doesn't make you fluent, but listening and speaking can make you fluent and can help you reading and writing.
Good.
That's
good.
my advice.
That's a good advice. That's a good advice. How about you, Amanda? What
I
advice?
think to not be afraid of learning because it's difficult and it's a process. So we have to wait and we have to be patient. And also don't stop while you started. So continue to do. Don't be afraid to ask when you don't know something, when you don't know a word or you don't know what is happening. Go and ask. Be friends with the teacher. Have a great relationship with English. Don't make it boring. Don't make it like a thing that you don't like. Make it like you really know this. And try to do things you like in English. For example, you have watched the same movie 20 times because you really like. Watch it in English. Why not? A song you like in English, try to understand, so make your relationship with English something you really like, because it's going to make it easier when you learn other things and other stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing for me.
Okay. Now, you touched on a very important point, which is the teacher. What do you think is the perfect systemic teacher? What kind of characteristics does this teacher have?
I think is a teacher who knows how to apply the material, because we got a good material, but if it's not applying the correct way, it doesn't make any sense. So I guess the teacher who knows how to apply, and the teacher who talks to us, like a lot, like
Yes.
presentations and dialogues. What, for example, teacher Sarah did guys, what do you think about this? And then we all discussed, and she was talking for hours. She gave us not much in paper. We already have a lot of subjects in paper.
Yeah.
And we don't like it, especially in high school. But I think the main part is during the fundamental. So especially in kindergarten and beyond. And you have to really apply the material that we have a lot of materials. The books are awesome. The way the teachers got material to teach us is awesome. And I think teachers who talk to us and apply the material correctly.
Great.
I think that's
great.
a great.
Good, Pedro. Thank you. How about you, Amanda? What do you
I
think?
think something that they never did during the class, and it's something important for me, is that they never translate things to Portuguese. We are not allowed to speak Portuguese, so they are not allowed to translate in Portuguese because they are teaching us to think in English and to speak in English. So why are we using Portuguese to do it? So it was when I understood that, I was oh my gosh, this makes sense. That's why we don't speak Portuguese. So for example, sometimes I am talking about my family about English because I like English, and they see that. So they are like, oh, how are your classes in your school, and how do you study English? And I'm like, oh, we speak English. We are not allowed to speak Portuguese. And they're like, you don't speak Portuguese in your English classes? And I'm like, you don't speak English in your English classes. This doesn't make sense. So something that the teachers always like said to us is that we are not allowed to speak Portuguese. No Portuguese, just English, because we are learning English. So this make like a big difference when we are like in class learning together, because no one knows English at the beginning. So everybody has to like fight together to understand and to make it so it was.
But what happens
the main
if you want to
thing.
communicate something and you don't know how to say it in English?
Oh, that's the process. Because when we were younger, we didn't know how to say the things, the words. So, for example, we didn't know how to say eraser. But we were like, oh, can you lend me your eraser, please? So sometimes at the beginning, we were like allowed to ask the teacher, how do I say no, in Portuguese, like to know how to say it in English. But as we were growing in English, we didn't use this anymore. So when we want to ask something to the teacher, we just say, oh, do you know that thing? No. We describe things in English because our English is improving. So we know more things. Our vocabulary is very like big.
Excellent.
So we used to like try to describe the thing, and then the teacher, oh, you were talking about eraser, that thing that we like, oh, we used the pencil, oh no, I got wrong, and then we, so it was about like giving examples in English, never in Portuguese, and trying to explain what it is with the English.
Great. Perfect. Now, do you guys like to watch TV series, movies? What are you guys watching now? What is your favorite TV series? And I want you to describe it for me.
I now used to follow them, like for example, to watch a series for the much time, but every time I go to movie theater, it's the original audio. I mean, I like the Brazilian dublagem, right? But just for comics, cartoons, and that's all. I mean, for me it's better in English. I feel more comfortable, and I could hear the original person's voice.
Yes.
For me, it's important to see the original person's voice, and I'm not much of watching series. So at the moment, I like to watch YouTube for content, especially for knowing things outside school, because school teaches you some things, but not everything, and you have to learn by yourself. So I really like to use YouTube for it, especially in English.
Good. So you watch content about school subjects?
Yeah, I do. But this one I use Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
It's better because the way of teaching is the way we're learning. But when I'm going to something in the computer, I really like computer animation, things with technology, I watch in English. It's better. It's
nice. Yeah, you have a lot more content, right?
A lot more content because we're not only watching guys from the US, watching guys from the whole world.
Yes.
So it's better.
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah. How about you, Amanda?
As I said, my mom and my dad used to watch Friends. So that's when we started. But nowadays, I like to watch vlogs in English from like girls that are going to the university, and they're like, oh, I do this and this and this in my day. Oh, now we are here doing I don't know what. She's just explaining what she's doing, and I find so interesting. And another thing that I like to do is watch my favorite movies and series again in English.
Nice.
Because it's something that I like to do. I always repeat movies. Always. For example, Little Woman. I love Little Woman.
Yes.
So I watch again and again and again in English. And I love it because when I finished watching in English, I feel like, no, I know how to speak English. I'm going to speak English. And then I start to speak English in house, like with my brother, because He studies English too. So we were like, no, we know English. We are going to speak in English.
Yes.
And my dad and my mom are like, oh, I don't understand anything, but nice.
Good,
Yes.
good. Now, if you guys could tell your teachers how important they were in your life, what would you tell them?
I think they were not just important like for the English or the language. It's much more than that, because with English we can do like a lot of things, and it's great for our professional life and academic life, and it's going to help us in our future. It's going to open so many doors. But they were also very kind while they were teaching, and sometimes when we were like practicing listening and talking, speaking, which with each other, we were, especially with teacher Sarah, she was trying to help us to improve as students and as people. So every time we had a problem, we could run to her and speak in English, of course, because she makes, like, the teachers, they make English comfortable. So sometimes some things that we, like, were not comfortable to speak in Portuguese, we were about to speak in English. So it was easier for us to show our feelings and express ourselves in English. So this helped us a lot to, like, improve as people, as someone that is going to, like, have a big future and has to manage their emotions and school and family and everything. So it was very important to have teachers that, like, know how important is English and how they can change lives, and how not just academically speak, like saying, but in an emotional way too. English is amazing.
Nice, Amanda. How about you, Pedro?
I think the most important thing that my teachers taught me is when I go, for example, in the future, when I'm going to learn another language, I'll use their methods to learn another language. So they taught me how to think. They taught my knowledge in English, my knowledge in Portuguese, because you mix it, right? You upgrade your knowledge in Portuguese because you learn a different way in English. So it was really good. I mean, knowing a second language as important as English is, it's like we are here because of English.
Yes.
So basically our teachers brought us here. Even the teachers who are not with us anymore, Sarah, who are not with us, she works with another classes, but she brought us here.
Yeah.
It opened us a lot of doors, horizons. I am grateful for everything, Sesc, Systemic, and all my teachers.
Good, very good. Now, you were talking about opening doors and that you're here in São Paulo, right? And the biggest conference in education. How can you describe your experience? What were your feelings? How did you feel having this moment today here? Do you want to say?
In the beginning, I didn't know it was this big. It was this huge. I mean, I thought it was not so important.
Okay.
I came here, of course, with all my knowledge. I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to give my maximum and all of it. But when I get here, especially here at Betty, I'm like,
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yes.
this is huge. This is huge. I thought it was just systemic and a lot of more things, but not all the things, because every educational system, it's here today.
Yes.
The most important, right?
Yeah.
So I never been to São Paulo. It was my first time. And it was pretty awesome to know the city. It's way different than Campo Grande. Campo Grande is really small. It's like 10 times smaller. So we got to a restaurant, pretty fancy. Got to shopping mall, pretty fancy. It was pretty cool. Hotel is pretty fancy.
Yeah.
And we got new experiences. I saw people from India, German, and we were like in the streets.
Yes.
Like, it was Wednesday. So it wasn't a day for immigrants, but they're not immigrants, they live here.
Yes.
So it was pretty cool to see how things are outside of our world.
Yes.
World, right?
Yes.
Right.
Now, you were here and you presented in front of a public, right? How was that experience for you?
I thought it was going to be harder. I got really relaxed when I started speaking, and I have this characteristic of speaking, so it was kind of easy after I got used to it. But when we were sitting down in the public, I was like, there's like 60 people, right?
Yeah,
it
around
was
60,
a lot of
70.
people, and there were important ones. I was really feeling the pressure, but when I get there, I saw that everybody was listening to me, and I got used to it. It was pretty cool. I mean, a hell of opportunity. It's awesome to be here.
Yes, and you did a very good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How about you, Amanda? What has been this experience here in São Paulo at Betty? Tell us.
Well, first, I was used to like have people speaking English every time with me because of the school and because of the systemic. But when I found out that people didn't have the English that I have and that they were learning different, I was like, wait, it's not common to have this English that I have. So when the teacher asked us, and she told us that we were coming here to São Paulo and that we were going to like present this system to people that like doesn't have. So I was like, oh my God, we are going to do a big thing, and it's an important thing because people are like, no, I study English, but they don't know English. They don't understand English. And when I saw that, I was like, what? It was not part of like what I was living in Sesc and what I was living with the systemic. So when I saw that you guys are doing this to like go to people that want to have this bilingual system and but don't know how, I was like, wow, we are doing a big thing. So when we were like there about to talk, all of these things that we are leaving and all the process of like how we learn English, I was like, oh my gosh, we are going to do a big thing and it's important.
Yeah.
And when we went there were not so many people, but then we turned our heads like to see around us, and there were lots of people.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my gosh, we were so nervous. But then we started to speak, and we saw that like it's different the way people learn English and the way that we are learning, that we have learned. And I saw that like we are capable to speak English, and people were like, oh my gosh, they know English and it's so beautiful. So this relaxed me, and I just, okay,
Went
we're...
with the flow.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Good. Now, what about, is this your first time here in São Paulo? How was your trip? How was the experience?
It's not my first time, but the first time was like very quick. I just came and stayed one day, and then I went
left.
back. Yes. So this is something that I've been dreaming, like, oh, I really want to go to São Paulo. And then the opportunity came, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So we are seeing like so many things, and we are seeing different people and knowing new things. I never thought that, like, I never knew about this big thing like BET. I didn't know this existed, but now I know, and I see that it's so important and it's so big and it's helping like people. So when I came here, first of all, São Paulo is big.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, wow. And now seeing like these people and the work that you guys are doing, it's wow.
Yes, and we're very, very proud of all of you, right? Now, there are some schools, like you said, they don't have systemic, right?
Yes.
What kind of message could you give to these school directors that are still in doubt, or what can I do to have a bilingual program in my school? What would you tell them to convince them that systemic works and that systemic is important not only for English but for your lives?
I think we should see the results. And forget about grammar. Grammar is massive. We have to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course,
Yeah,
we have to
of
know.
course.
But we do learn grammar. Because we came here saying, no, grammar is not, but we do learn grammar, but in a cool way. But not a massive way. And I think trying to introduce it in public schools is pretty awesome. Teacher told us, Vera told us before we came here that this was the main idea. And I'm really happy. In the beginning of my life, I studied at the public school, and you can see the difference. You can spot the difference far beyond the school. Only looking at the public, looking at the situation the school in, I'm part of the scholarship process of Sesc. I don't pay nothing since 2015. And I can see that in my family, that we're not so rich, this was a lifetime opportunity. And if directors could give this to another student just like me, it will, change someone's life.
Yes.
So that's the message. Education can change things, most of things, and it can change it for better.
Yes,
That's my message.
for sure. Good, Pedro. Thank you. How about you, Amanda?
I think if you want to start a bilingual thing in your school, it's important to know that it's not just, let's give them English classes and not really doing it, because you have to see how they are doing it, because some schools are like, no, we teach English, but as I said, they don't know. They don't speak English during the classes. They don't listen to things in English, so they don't really know English. If you put them to speak with another person that really knows English, they're not going to have a conversation, because it's difficult to understand. It's difficult to to speak. So see and go to an education, a system that is going to make the difference. It's not just English. It's never just about the language, but it's learning something that is going to change your life, because it's something more that you have there. It's not just, I know how to speak English, and you don't really know, but it's something big, it's something important. And even for people that are in need, English is something that has the power to change their future. So if you're going to start to teach English, start truly, not just to say that you have the English in your school, but do it. Do it, because you're going to see people growing, and you're going to see kids growing, and the parents oh my God, my child, my son, my daughter, they know how to speak English, something that I never had. So they are going to grow as people, and academically, and everything. This is going to help them. The English is going to help them. So if you want to teach English, do it correctly. Not just to say that you are going to teach English, but really do it and make them fluent. Not just translate things, but really understand and speak.
Yeah, good. Now, do you think it's important to have, instead of having an English class, having content through English? Do you think the content is important for you guys to understand how the language works? Does it help to use the content?
Yes.
How does that happen?
I've learned a lot of words using content. My vocabulary improves a lot since we started studying not grammar and not English. We studied chemistry, physics, geography, and other stuff. I could know something that even natives doesn't know, and I could understand things on the internet. It would help me a lot, because the content we are learning is different from what other people are learning. So we learn other things.
Yeah, good.
Yes, and as you said, it's about the vocabulary. Like, it's different. So we were not having like classes. Oh, this is past. This is present. This is in the future. Try to understand this task. No, it was not like that. It was the teacher saying, oh, if you go to, I don't know, United States, this is a coin, but this is like a penny. It's different from here in Brazil. And then you, while they were teaching, explaining something, they were explaining other things. So this is a country, this is a city, this is a place. So the vocabulary was something different for us. And we learned like while we were having fun, because when it's all about the grammar, we're like, it's exhausting. But when we are learning like other things like plants, as I said, we have like cooking classes where we learn to cook in English. So it's very fun, and we like these English classes. And like liking English in the English classes makes us improve. So it was very, very, very fun, and it has a difference when you like the teachers teach you through another ways, not just the simple one.
Now, and what do you want for your future? Do you have an idea?
I'm in second high school, so I don't really know. But I really want to do, like, for now, I'm thinking about doing something with English, because I really like English, or something with, like, social media, talking about, like, this marketing thing. So, and I know that in this marketing life, the English is something necessary.
Yes.
And I love to like do videos and this kind of thing. So make this something that I like to like be my future job, and know that English is something necessary to be a good professional in this area. It's like, oh my gosh. Thank God that I know English, that I have this English that I have now, because what I want is something that needs English.
Okay. Yeah, good.
One of my goals is to live in another country. It doesn't have to be USA. I might live in Europe or Canada, Australia, some country in Asia. Probably, I don't know. Can be. I think life will provide me this as much as I can talk and believe that. And I want to work with technology. It's something that I really like. I don't know if there is a specific profession. I'm not decided yet.
Okay.
But technology is 100% my area. I really like to I like the computer more than people. So I think I will be in this area.
Yeah. Nice.
And English will help me a lot.
Yes, for sure. I know for sure from the bottom of my heart that your future will be brilliant. Because not only you guys know how to speak English very well, but you also have a good heart. You also have great ideas for your future and great thoughts, and not only about your education, but about other students' education. Like what Pedro said about being in a public school, giving other kids this kind of opportunity. It's also very important, right? And that's a part of our job as a teacher, to transform lives, right? So this is going to be our final moment. Would you like to add anything else, any message that you'd like to leave?
Systemic works.
Yes, it works.
That's a good one.
Yes. We are like approved from it.
Yes.
It's something amazing what you guys are doing. Like, it's amazing. And we were talking about it there outside, that you guys are like big. You guys are big, and you are going to make like difference in people's lives. So, yeah.
Good. Thank you. Bom, chegamos ao final do nosso bate-papo. Foi um bate-papo muito gostoso, muito rico, né? A gente tem aqui o resultado de alunos systemic e somente systemic, né? Dentro de uma escola que é o Sesc, dando oportunidades, né, para os meninos e para os colegas das turmas também, né, porque a gente não tem somente esses 2 alunos, mas a turma toda é muito boa. Então, eu fico muito feliz que você tenha ficado aqui até o final do nosso bate-papo. E se você gostou, compartilhe com os amigos, com a família, entre nas nossas redes sociais, procure por Systemic Bilingual, que você vai encontrar a Amanda, o Pedro e outros alunos aí que a gente tem pelo Brasil afora, né? Então, procure a gente está sempre nas redes sociais trazendo conteúdo relevante e educação bilíngue de verdade.